Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable. MCX IPF and CNBC TV18 present Commodity Classroom.
MCX IPF and CNBC TV18 presenting to you Commodity Classroom. Well, the theme of the day clearly is bullion today, and we will put a lot of spotlight on gold this time around. Only asset class actually which has given you positive returns in this year. When you look at global equity markets, they're trading in negative. Indian equity markets trading in negative. Most of the currency markets, the trades also have turned around, but bullion and gold rather is the only one which has given you positive returns. We will get our panelists on board. There are various stakeholders within the bullion business, and we'll talk about on how they are utilizing gold as a possibility when it comes to hedging, trading, or even investing. We will of course have a panel, but before that I would want to invite Shivanshu Mehta. He will set the context for the conversation today, and then of course we will go ahead with the conversation. Shivanshu.
Any exchange is actually serving not only investors, not only traders, but one of the most important aspects is the physical industries that we represent, the physical industries that our commodities and contracts represent. So the most prominent asset class when it comes to global macroeconomics, as well as especially the Indian tradition, is bullion, that is gold and silver. There has been a lot of positive regulatory moves and positive changes which have helped nurture this segment, especially of late, with the advent of options in 2017, then indices based on bullion futures, and then the mutual funds based on commodity derivatives, and very recently regarding the FPIs and their participation in commodity derivative segment. We have also seen that the physical industry has been using our futures contracts for risk management, just like the investor community has been using the same contracts for systematic investments via contracts which range from 1 gram, 8 gram, 100 grams to a kilogram of gold, and on the silver front from 1 kg to 5 kg and to 30 kgs. So having said that, the physical industries have also now patronized the options products, and we are seeing a tremendous salience and growth in the option segment, with both gold and silver options coming of age. And I think what these instruments present for investors as well as physical industry differently from futures is that they allow you to be participative on the profit side. At the same time, by paying an insurance premium, you protect your downside. We'll delve more into the minds of our experts and try and understand how best we can utilize the exchange ecosystem and mechanism to, on one side, invest in this asset class, and on the other side, to manage our price risk and take delivery as and when needed. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Shivanshu. And with that, without any delay, I would want to invite our guests on the panel now to take this discussion further. Shivanshu Mehta, first of all, is head bullion MCX. Shivanshu, why don't you join us right here? I'll also invite Mr. Prithviraj Kothari, who's President, India Bullion and Jewellers Association. Mr. Saurabh Gadgil is MD and CEO, PNG Jewellers. We also have with us Gautam Choksi, who's Executive Director at Hindustan Platinum, and Dilip Narayanan is Head Bullion and Treasury with Malabar Group. You know, gold, as we have been discussing, has been the talk of the town. The kind of returns that we've seen, the kind of movement that has come in, $100 of a move in a matter of a week is something that gold hasn't done in a very, very long time, and very strong returns as well coming in. So Shivanshu, starting with you first, you mentioned about options. You also, I mean, we've seen great investment, great participation come in on the markets as well. How have you seen the year gone by?
If you look at options, they took birth in 2017 with the launch of the gold 1 kg option. We saw the 1 kg option actually being used by a lot of listed jewelers as well to actually offer flexible pricing mechanisms during Diwali or Akshaya Tritiya. So in a sense, we have seen that mature and come of age. Having said that, we have also, in the interim period leading up to now, launched a gold 1 kg option, which is 1/10 the value and a monthly expiry. We've also launched the silver 30 kg option and the silver 5 kg option. So I think as a portfolio, it stands where it is, and we are seeing it hit all-time highs twice in the past month. So it has touched, the bullion options aggregate more than 12,000 crores. But I think people are starting to use futures and options in combination, which is heartening to note, to sort of manage the risk in their positions. Jewelers are not viewing their inventories as a given anymore. They are using put options to actually find value for those inventories. And in a rising market, they are able to protect against the fall and continue to be on the rise using such products.
Kothari ji, I'll start with you on this one. How do you look at gold as an asset class? How have you seen the various fundamentals that have been going on? And what's your sense on how the year 2023 could turn up?
मेरे हिसाब से जहाँ तक गोल्ड के सवाल आ रहा है, इट्स अ सेफ इन्वेस्टमेंट, एवरीवन नोज. आपने देखा होगा व्हेन द पेंडेमिक सिचुएशन कम्स, आफ्टर दैट यूक्रेन एंड रशिया वॉर, चाइना एंड ताइवान ऑल्सो, एंड then lastly the US interest rate increasing almost 9 times, and then US bank. तो जब भी कहीं पे भी कोई भी अनसर्टेनिटी होती है तो इट्स द ओनली ऑप्शन कहाँ इन्वेस्ट करने का. सबका बड़ा यही रहता है, अगर बैंक सेफ नहीं है तो इन्वेस्ट कहाँ करें. तो वही चीज़ होती है कि गोल्ड इज़ द सेफ हेवन. इन्वेस्ट करना है, फिर उस समय पे प्राइस कोई नहीं देखता है. हमने यहाँ पे पेंडेमिक के टाइम में भी देखा था कि ऐसा फेयर लग रहा था कि लोग सोना बेचने को आएंगे, कोई ख़रीदेगा नहीं, बंद है. बट उसका ऑपोजिट पूरा उल्टा हुआ. लोगों ने देखा कि सेफ हेवन को हमको इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए. जो लोग सोने को डेड इन्वेस्टमेंट समझते थे, जो पोर्टफोलियो में नहीं रखते थे, उन्होंने पोर्टफोलियो में रखना स्टार्ट किया है. कि उन्होंने भी न्यूज़ चैनल और सब जगह पे आके कहना किया कि एटलीस्ट 4 to 5% और मे बी 8% पोर्टफोलियो में सोना होना ही चाहिए. और इंडियन हिस्ट्री के हिसाब से सोना इन्वेस्टमेंट हर एक आदमी का, हर एक गृहिणी का, हर एक स्त्री का वही होता है कि जो भी सेविंग्स होती है उसको कैसे उसको गोल्ड के अंदर कन्वर्ट किया जाए. वो एक माइंड सेट है इंडियन हाउसवाइफ और उनके लिए. तो गोल्ड एज ए एसेट क्लास के साथ साथ में एक सेफ इन्वेस्टमेंट भी है. धीरे धीरे लोगों को अंदर एक इन्वेस्टमेंट के हिसाब से अगर देखो, बैंक सेंट्रल बैंक का बाइंग देखो, फिर गोल्ड ETF के अंदर बाइंग देखो. जब भी अनसर्टेनिटी आती है तो आप देखिए होगा ETF के अंदर बाइंग हो जाती है, और ख़ास करके USA के अंदर. फिर कॉमिक्स आपने लास्ट पेंडेमिक में देखा होगा $52 प्रीमियम चलता था गोल्ड का एज अ फ्यूचर मार्केट के अंदर. तो इस तरह के अनसर्टेनिटी के टाइम पे लोगों का झुकाव गोल्ड की तरफ रहता है. गोल्ड है, सिल्वर है, और मेरे हिसाब से अभी भी वही सिनेरियो चल रहा है. द फियर ऑफ वॉर, इंटरेस्ट इंक्रीजिंग का इफेक्ट आएगा. और सबसे बड़ा USA में रिसेशन का अभी प्रॉब्लम चल रहा है, हाउसिंग का उनका डाउन हो गया है. तो मेरे हिसाब से गोल्ड का फ्यूचर अभी भी प्राइस वाइज काफ़ी अच्छा रहेगा, इंटरनेशनली प्राइस. बट यहाँ पे फिजिकल डिमांड थोड़ा सा कम हो जाएगा.
Dilip, this one is to you. There is a price disparity that we've seen happen in the Indian markets. There's a bit of a discount in the physical markets vis-a-vis MCX prices right now. How do you see that, and how do you see yourself hedging that on the platform?
Most of the time for the last 1 year, Kothari ji will also support this fact that the market was in deep discount. And it was in discounts to the extent of like what I was mentioning there in the room. It is like we've surprised to see the numbers going up day by day. It's almost $30 to $35 discounted. It's almost a lakh of rupees less than what MCX price is. So at this kind of time, we have, as a jeweler, we use this platform to hedge ourselves so that the inventory which we wanted to secure, there are a lot of schemes which is going in the stores. There are lot of advanced schemes, there are a lot of other schemes which goes, so those are schemes which needs a proper hedging mechanism. It is a must at this kind of a market. And there are times when we look at buying it from the exchange, because as Malabar, we always been speaking about responsible sourcing, and then we ensure that whatever gold we source, okay, from wherever we source, there is a proper history and a story to it, and we know that where it's coming from the right place. So in India, to get it something of that, exchange is one of the best places because that's quite safe. It has a proper backup, and if tomorrow any of the regulators walk in, we are very well clear about the papers from where we have bought it.
MCX IPF and CNBC TV18 present Commodity Classroom. MCX IPF and CNBC TV18 present Commodity Classroom.
Saurabh, as Dilip also said that, with the price disparity that we see sometimes, how do you as a jeweler then use the platform to hedge?
Jewelers have inventory, which is their own inventory which is from bank, which is like the gold metal loans, and a lot of them have customer schemes going on, which can be in value or it can be in rupees, in quantity. Now, with such disparities, one has to be able to hedge because a lot of the commitment is back in metal. We have options here, so depending on the scheme validity, we'll be using that kind of options to ensure that we don't lose money on that front. A lot of time we use put options to ensure that if prices go up, you're protected on that front. Similarly, jewelers also have these festive schemes wherein you'll be buying, offer customer the advantage that you can book gold today, and if rates go up, you get the booking price. If rates go down, you get the current price. Now again, for that we have to use options and call and put options. So this is a very hybrid model which jewelers need. Because today, as we know, there's intense competition, margins are very low, and one can't afford to lose money on price. So this is where I think every jewelry company will have to look at innovative ways of how to attract customers to come to you, give them the best option, but at the same time cover yourselves. We have seen there's also liquidity for these option and futures. It's of no point just to be able to have an option or future with you, but not be able to liquidate to execute it. Be it Akshaya Tritiya, be it Diwali, people expect these schemes. And they have become more or less a hygiene for every retail chain that we'll have to work out innovative ways, whereas to entice the customer to come to you, but without the fear of the price on his mind. The rate has become the one most important factor for a consumer. The focus has moved from discount, the focus has moved from schemes, it is now the price. And this is where I think being able to give the best price and the best option is what will make the difference in sale. Even for silver now, because even silver is as a category is selling. So this is where we use it effectively. And the price today has become the single most important factor in deciding the sale of a particular transaction.
Saurabh, I do understand that jewelers from a very long time now have been hedging on the exchange platform, understanding the price moves as well. But as you pointed out, using options as well and actively hedging, since when have you guys been doing that?
I think it's been last 3 years, especially this whole thing started from pandemic. During the pandemic, when there were lockdowns, we didn't have physical stores open, but people wanted to do business. And at that point, this whole idea started happening of can we offer them innovative products? You book online, but you'll get delivery once the stores open. Now people are not sure what the price will be at that point of time, when the stores will open. So I think this lockdown has been the era when this whole thing really started picking up. And it hit with the customers well. And now it's become a necessity.
Gautam, what's your example on this? Because we've seen a similar case happen for silver as well. All-time high imports last year. This year has been slightly on the lower side. Big disparity, big discounts here as well.
For silver, being a good delivery refiner, the number of refineries in India is limited. And even for in the physical market, when we see the options for a consumer, right, with metal prices where they are gold touching 60 lakhs a kilo and silver close to 70,000. If you think about it, the wholesale bars, right? A 30 kilo bars north of 20 lakhs and a kilo of silver, even if you count the smaller one, is close to 6 lakhs. So delivery options, when people want for investors, one is the physical market and you can hedge and protect your price risk. But on the physical side, options are limited for customers. And while there are always concerns of the purity of the metal people are buying, for HNIs and ultra HNIs is one option, but for the retail investor, at least there is options of buying smaller denominations, be it a 1 gram or an 8 gram contract. And even for the silver kilobar contracts from good delivery refiners is, I think, one of a kind in the world. So it gives options to anyone, right? To anyone as little as 70,000 rupees, you could buy a kilo of silver and be guaranteed of the purity.
So huge work done. And because everybody spoke about good delivery, why don't you elaborate on that further? How has that worked? What are the rules and norms that you follow in for that one?
In lines with the Atmanirbhar Bharat mission, we wanted to enable the quality local refiners who are able to produce gold at par with the international LBMA refiners, so that they can be made to deliver Indian recycled gold, which is of quality, which is quality assured, in the same contract in which the LBMA refiners are. And this has been an ask for a long time, except that we were waiting for the BIS India Good Delivery Standard to be notified, which happened in December 2019. After that, around that we have built what I can call a thorough process of financial audits and technical qualification audits, wherein international auditors of repute, they go and they visit the sites, they do an absolute nut and bolt kind of an audit, after which on a continuous monitoring basis also these refiners are audited. And there are certain agreements which are in place with these refiners upfront, and that is how the good delivery norms of MCX got derived. And there is a committee of independent experts which is our empanelment committee, which guides us. And we have 4 refiners thus far who have been approved, and a few are in the process. And that's how it has been. Of course, the numbers are like around 4.5, in fact, 4.75 tons of Indian refined gold has been delivered thus far.
But another thing, Dilip, that I wanted to ask you was, while of course we talk about trading, investing and hedging, but there have been various instances where we have seen jewelers actually take delivery from the exchange as well and give delivery to exchange too. I mean, that is something that has also happened after a very long time.
For the last 3-4 years, we've changed our sourcing pattern. And one of the things which we ensured is that we source it from the right source, that is a nominated agency, or from refiners like Augment, or from who is listed, or then take delivery from the exchange. Taking delivery from the exchange at this kind of market is quite much more safer, because you have to understand one thing: when the discount grows, there are a lot of illegal metal which comes into the market. You have to be very sure about what you're buying, otherwise you're in trouble. And that's what each and every jeweler over here I would advise to do, because that's one thing, anything cheaper has got a risk of its own. And that's something which the jeweler should understand. There are many people around the market who sell cheap gold. Many apps which has come out, which shows very different prices. What I tell the management and the team is that stick on to the right source, responsible sourcing. And exchange is one of the examples for that. It makes our life much more easier. And it's now that they are delivering in various points. Earlier it was only Ahmedabad, now it's various other points also where they get delivery, we get delivery. And also at this time where the scrap gold is coming in much more. There are times that there are scrap gold which is coming more than what I'm selling. Okay? So there's almost 25 to 30% of gold which I can all go make it as a good delivery bar and sell it in the exchange. And still I make money there. So this is a platform which is an ideal platform for a jeweler to buy and also to sell.
Kothari ji, बहुत सारी चीजें हैं यहाँ पर जो market को impact कर रही हैं, but apart from that, discounts तो हैं ही, currency movements भी है, import duty हमने बढ़ते हुए देखी, customs हैं जो हर 15 दिन में भी change होते हैं. तो as a market participant, इन सब को आप कैसे hedge करते हैं exchange पे?
आज की टाइम के अंदर अगर मार्केट जो चल रहा है, फिजिकल हो या ज्वेलर्स हो, कोई भी बाइंग सेलिंग होती है, तो प्लस माइनस MCX प्राइस पे होती है। MCX से प्लस क्या है माइनस क्या है उसी प्राइस के ऊपर मार्केट चलता है। अगर एक्सपायरी के टाइम अभी MCX लेस चल रहा है प्राइस, क्योंकि MCX अभी डिलीवरी पीरियड में है। वंस द डिलीवरी पीरियड के पास में आता है तो एक्सचेंज प्लस प्राइस चलता है। तो एक्सचेंज पूरा एक तरह का हेजिंग इंस्ट्रूमेंट हो गया है। और सेकंड चीज़ है कि लोगों को कभी भी जैसे लगता है कि प्राइस कंफर्टेबल जोन में है या सामने बुकिंग है तो और पेमेंट आने में डिले होता है तो MCX के ऊपर जाके ज्वेलर्स बाय कर लेते हैं। ऑप्शन वन ऑफ द बेस्ट इंस्ट्रूमेंट इन द वर्ल्ड, उससे बढ़िया कोई इंस्ट्रूमेंट है ही नहीं है। अगर लोगों के पास में कम पैसे हैं और अपना ध्यान लगता है कि तेज़ी का है तो उसमें आप इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हो। इसमें लिमिटेड रिस्क रहता है और रिवॉर्ड स्काई द लिमिट रहता है। ऑप्शन ही एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म है जो आपको सिक्योर कर सकता है, आपका रिस्क को एक लिमिटेड कर सकता है। और उसमें ऑप्शन के भी अंदर से बहुत से वेरिएशन हैं। अगर आप देखोगे आपका ट्रेंड के ऊपर होता है या आपको कम रिस्क लेना है या आपको दूर का करना, तो इसमें मल्टीपल है। और नो डाउट इसमें 4% 5% का रिटर्न ईजी वे से आता है। और अपना हर कमोडिटीज़ के अंदर ऑप्शन होते हैं। इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में अगर आप देखोगे तो पूरा का पूरा ट्रेड ऑप्शन रिलेटेड ही बैक है। प्राइस पूरा बैक ऑप्शन के प्राइस पे ही होता है। एक सर्टेन प्राइस के ऊपर अगर ऑप्शन हिट होता है तो आपने देखा होगा कि सडनली प्राइस अगर 2000 है, 2000 हिट करता है तो 2005-6 स्ट्रेट आ जाएगा। क्यों? बिकॉज ऑफ द ऑटो बाइंग। तो हर चीज़ का प्राइस हेजिंग के लिए ऑप्शन का टूल्स को दिया हुआ है कि प्राइस को कैसे कवर करना चाहिए, प्राइस डिटरमाइन कैसे करना चाहिए, और बहुत अच्छा इंस्ट्रूमेंट है।
What is the trend that is emerging when you look at bullion in Indian markets, and what are the hedging trends that you foresee going forward?
With advent of digital, of course, the physical is always there, and I think physical will always be king. People want to have that touch and feel of the metal, but I think what tends to happen in the smaller denominations is people tend to pay a higher premium and get stuck with that, and when they go back to a jeweler or to get it made into jewelry, they tend to lose that. But that being said, I think the smaller investment bars are seem to be in good demand now. Even on the exchange, as I said earlier, 1 gram, 8 gram, 100 gram for gold, but even smaller silver bars, right? We've seen good interest in which is not a clear product, but a 100 gram cast bar of silver. So even smaller kind of denomination where there is keen interest. As far as hedging goes on the international market, I think this uncertainty and geopolitical tensions is going to be that's going to be taking center stage for the next few weeks, and I think volatility is here to stay. So I think that's something we have to deal with, and exchanges will certainly help de-risk that to some extent.
Thank you, panelists, as well. This has been a great conversation, and we really appreciate your time here. Thank you so much.
MCX IPF and CNBC TV18 present Commodity Classroom. Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.